It's officially academic comeback season, my love. If you're tired of getting low or mid on average grades, then you're in the right place. So sit tight because class is in session. Hi guys, my name is Catherine. I recently completed my bachelor's degree in psychology and now I make self-development content for the girls. Your next straight A streak is only one YouTube video away. I'm going to be giving you all my juicy secrets that took me from getting 3.6 GPAs to 4.8 GPAs as of my last semester in uni. This is not your ordinary type of video, okay? I will not be advising you to go and study or whatever. If you don't know that you're supposed to be studying, then I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be telling you, okay? So when you finish watching this video, because you must watch this video to the end, because I'm going to be saying a lot. When you finish watching this video, go and start studying. If you don't know you're supposed to be studying, then no, you're supposed to be studying. But that's not what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to give you practical tips that really changed the trajectory of my grades. So first and foremost, you need to like what you study. You need to like what you study. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know that people are studying things that they may not so much enjoy. Maybe you didn't pick the course. Maybe it's the school that gave you the course. I mean, you know how JAM does it. But the truth is, you really need to like what you're studying or have a strong why, have a strong reason for the grades that you want. Because think about it, the people who get the best grades are the people who have enough conviction, enough reason to get the grades. There could be people who know that, you know, the course they're doing is their surest path to success and wealth, like, you know, those engineering students, those medical students who know that, see, if they want to have anything in life, they need to be good at this and have good grades to get a nice job that will help them and help their family. You know, they're also the people who are tired of being insulted or have a family who's putting pressure on them, and it may not even be for money, but if your family is putting enough pressure on you and you actually care about the approval of your family, which is very important because there's people who don't care. You know, if you have the kind of family that puts pressure on you to get good grades and you care about their approval, you are more determined to go and do it. So you really need a strong why, you really need a strong conviction. Even people who have academic validation, like myself, unfortunately, really, I'm not proud to say this thing, but you know, I had a lot of like academic validation where it was like, oh, you know, I need to show that I'm really smart. If I show I'm really smart, people respect me, people do this, that, whatever. I mean, it worked, but that was not even my strongest conviction. I'm trying to explain to you that people who have a very, very strong why usually always get the job done because of, you know, how convicted they are in whatever belief or whatever it is that they believe in or whatever it is that they want for themselves and all of that. I had both. I really liked my course. Like, I really loved psychology. I mean, I still love psychology so much right now. Like, psychology is literally the best course that anybody can study ever. And yes, I say that proudly and I'm going to beat my chest. Quote me anyway. Psychology is the best course in the whole entire world, and being a psychologist is the best thing you could ever do, and that's on period. Thank you. So I really love psychology. I mean, I don't mind going back to school. I don't mind doing my master's. I don't mind getting a doctorate degree in psychology. In fact, these are things that I really want to do because of how passionate I am about psychology, and I mean, I'm literally making content about it. So yeah, I really love my course. So it was fun to read, it was fun to study. I loved, you know, going deep into the course. I mean, I had the best time in class. Sometimes class would be like gist and it would just be a super fun time. But I also had a strong why, I had a strong conviction. I really wanted to graduate with a certain CGPA. So I just say yes. Okay, I'll just say I really wanted to graduate with a 4-point GPA minimum. I mean, you know how they always say, oh, as you're going higher, your CGPA usually come down. This is that. But like entering the new year, I literally wrote it on my New Year's goal. I'm going to be graduating with a minimum of a 4.0 CGPA. I wanted that thing so bad. And do you know the interesting part? As of my 300 level second semester, I was at about a 3.8 or so. By my 400 level first semester also, I was at 3.88 literally, and then I had like one semester left and I was like, I need to graduate with a 4.0 GPA, and I knew that the only way I could graduate with a 4.0 GPA, considering that typically your CGPA comes down, I knew that what I needed was straight A's, and I just went all in and I got those straight A's to the glory of God. You need a strong why, you need a strong conviction, and you also need to like your course. You need to find something that is in your course that you find interesting enough. It could be anything, but I really encourage you to dig deep and find, you know, interesting facts about your course. You can maybe do research on the people who have the knowledge in your course, what they end up doing in life. Maybe there's a particular industry you would have loved to go into, but your course isn't or what you wanted and you feel like you can't go into the industry again. But I promise you can. Things can always be mixed and matched, and maybe it hasn't been done before. Maybe you can be the first one to do it, and it will definitely work because you have the knowledge and you have the interest and you bring it together and you make something wonderful and beautiful. For example, maybe you were someone who was into sports. You really love sports and maybe you wanted to be a footballer, you wanted to be a coach, but you know, you have to go to school and your parents are pushing you to go to school or whatever, and maybe you ended up studying something like mass comm, you could be like a sports journalist or a newscaster for sports and all those things. I don't know, this is just an example, you guys, but I really encourage you to dig deep, find something interesting in your course. It doesn't have to be the course itself, it could be the path that the course takes you to. That thing completely changes how you feel about the course, and when it changes how you feel about the course, you are more invested, you are more interested. You're like, okay, let me even just read, let me even just study, let me even just find out about this thing. So you definitely need either a very, very strong why, a strong conviction, or you have to like the course that you're studying. Those two are very important. So pick one or you pick the two, okay? But you must pick something. The next thing that really improved my grades is that I started to finally understand my course. I think for a very long while, I might even say 2 years, like half the time I was in university, I didn't understand. I didn't understand a lot of things. It's actually ridiculous now that I'm thinking about it. But you know, if you are the way I was in my first year and my second year, I don't really blame you, because it's not easy. Like, if you left it to just class, there's very low chance you would understand. I don't know, except you're one of those people that quickly grab information. But if you were leaving it up to class, it's a very low chance you understand. Not to mention maybe handouts and the PDFs and the notes and the slides, they may not be all that easy to read, because at the end of the day, this is also your first time going to university. I mean, like, you've never done it before. So I really don't blame you. If you're not understanding the course, then there's a big problem. Understanding the course opens you up to so many things, right? I already made a video on one of the ways that I went about finally understanding my course, and I made use of ChatGPT. I'm going to link the video on one of these, or it will just be in the description, so go ahead and check that out. But I basically turned ChatGPT into my personal tutor, and I made it provide the information of my courses and my classes and the topics in ways that I was sure to understand. Another super underrated thing about understanding your course and the way you would go about understanding your course is that you really need to know your learning style. Like, nobody ever talks about this stuff. It is so important that you know your learning style, because if you are trying to learn in a way that is not your learning style or not your preferred way of learning, then you are probably not going to learn anything. For example, I hate reading. It's like so sad to see, and I know a lot of people, read it. I'll tell you the truth, I don't used to read. I don't like reading. I don't like staring at words and trying to make it enter my head. I do read, right? I do read when I have to, or if I just want to. Duh, of course I would read. But primarily, if it's not like a romance fiction novel, I am most likely not reading it. I won't enjoy reading it, and I won't understand what I'm reading. But when it comes to watching things and listening to things, that is me. That is why I love videos so much. That is my preferred learning style. So there are 4 main learning styles. You have the auditory, we have the visual, we have the written or read, and we have kinesthetic. Auditory, you learn best when you're listening to something. Visual, you learn best when you're seeing something. Kinesthetic, you learn best when you are involved in the learning process. You're hands-on, you're carrying out an activity, like what we call practicals in school. And then we have the read or written, which is how almost everybody is told that's how we're supposed to do it, or that is the available learning style, and that is to read or to write, obviously. So out of this 4, I really want you to dig deep and actually think about what could your own learning style be. What could it be? Like, actually think about it. Like, are you more of a hands-on person? Do you like listening? Do you like watching? Do you like reading or writing? It is super important, because if you're trying to learn with a learning style that is not suited for you, then you're most likely not going to learn. As I said earlier, early on, I realized that, I don't like reading. This thing that they do, they will give you PDF, they will give you notes, you'll be copying notes and you'll be reading. That's just not for me. I thankfully realized I'm more of a visual and auditory learner. And so because of that, I took advantage of this very platform that you are watching me on, and that is YouTube. I started watching YouTube videos about my courses. Like, I literally look it up. I'd look up like abnormal psychology, clinical psychology, principles of that, principles of whatever, that, different things. Sometimes if I search up something, I'd put lecture at the beginning or the end of the phrase, just so that it can bring out, lectures. And it is so important, and it really helped me, because, getting other people's perspective on the topic, learning how other people would teach the topic and how they would, just pass that information across, helped me understand the course a lot better. So I really encourage you to, first of all, figure out your preferred learning style. Just really think about it. There's so many resources online where you can go answer quizzes, but even within yourself, really think about it. What kind of person do you feel you are? If you're someone who actually enjoys reading, and once you read something, you quickly understand the information, then good for you. Then that's actually amazing. But if you notice that every time you read, you're not really getting the material, or you're struggling and you're finding it hard, maybe that's not your preferred learning style. Maybe you would rather listen to it, or maybe you would rather watch a video. Maybe you'd rather engage in a practical of some sort about the course. And then when you want to study, you tailor your studying towards that. Like me, I always watch YouTube videos and I took notes of what they were saying and all of that. If you're more of a kind of static person, especially if your course is like a practical course, you find a way to like just get your hands on, even if it's not a practical course, even if you are social science or what's that other one called? Arts? Humanities? I don't know. But even if that is the case, then maybe saying it out loud will help. Having a discussion about it with someone else is more of your style. Yeah, just figure out your learning style and try to tailor your studying and what you want to do towards that path, and it will help a lot. Don't forget to watch my YouTube video on how I use ChatGPT to increase my GPA. As a matter of fact, if you're actually an auditory learner, I don't know if you know, but now you can actually talk to ChatGPT. There should be this call option on the page of ChatGPT, and I can ask it to speak to you. I mean, I did that. Sometimes you ask a question, it speaks to you. If you're an auditory learner, then that is surely going to help you. Another key thing that helped me so much was quizzing myself. When you're done studying, write out questions, possible questions that could come out in the exam, or just quiz yourself to see if you understood, and do this often. That is so important. When you finish reading something and asking yourself questions about it, don't just do it for that particular day. Do it often, do it periodically. Use something that is called the spaced repetition method. You see, reading something one-off may not always make it stick to your brain. But do you know what? Asking yourself questions and making your brain, forcing your brain to retract that information, to bring out that information again, is going to make it stick, because you have to force the brain to remember that information. It sticks in the brain a lot more. Something that can assist you with this is apps like Quizlet and Anki. Personally, I used Anki. I'm not sure how Quizlet is, but you can try the Anki app. I believe it's available on App Store and Play Store. I also feel like they have a site. I'll try and link everything in the description box. But using apps like that, inputting the questions, periodically revising with it, it asks you a question, you try to answer. If you don't know the answer, you go back, you read about it again until you get that. Even when you've gotten it, still ask yourself that question. I promise you, as long as you actually understand, though, not that it is stuck in your brain and then you don't even understand what you were trying to learn. As long as you understand, like, you won't forget. They will ask you like this, they wake you up from your sleep, you get up and you will answer. That spaced repetition method, so underrated. I remember that I wanted to do this thing with my friend. She didn't even answer me. I mean, well, she kind of did sometimes, but it was just not giving serious. So I just did it by myself. Like, yeah, getting someone to ask you the question also definitely helps, right? But, you know, if you don't always have someone to help you, then you can always take advantage of these platforms. I'm sure that there are so many more, so you just need to go out there and look for them. But asking yourself questions helps so much. Like, it helps you retain that information in your head up onto your test, up onto your exams, and it just ensures that you actually remember and understand what you were trying to learn. Once you remember, once you understand, there's really nothing else for you. That's literally it. So that's another one, asking yourself questions and quizzing yourself. And then finally, there is this advice that a lot of people may not like, and that is to simply write extensively, write exhaustively in your exams and in your tests. I'm going to tell you people a story. So I have a friend, her name, should I say her real name? I'll say her name joke. Her name is Esther, right? She's one of the closest people to me in my department and in my school. We're super close. Esther is incredibly smart. Esther is incredibly smart, and she's probably going to be graduating as the best student in my department, in my level. I'm not joking, right? I'm literally not joking. She's that smart and will probably be graduating best student. And something about Esther is that during exams, during tests, Esther is always asking for extra sheets. Yes, Esther is always asking for extra sheets. She's always filling up her book. And before you know, to be very honest, sometimes this thing of like jealousy, or you know how students are really, I can't even blame anyone because I did it too. But that thing of, why is this person overdoing? Why is this person writing? Why are you doing too much? Why are you doing too much? More. It wasn't until like my 300 level that I said, it's like myself, I should be doing too much. Oh. It's like there's something missing here. If only I had known that was the secret sooner. God. If only I had known the secret was to fill up my book, I would have done it sooner. Especially if you're in a social science course or if you're in one of these arts course. Write, fill up the pages, fill it up, write every single thing that you possibly could about that concept. I'm telling you, it boosts your grade. Stop thinking, I don't want to do too much, I don't want to do wasabi, I don't want to stand up and collect that extra sheet. If you have to collect extra sheets, collect it. Now, I'm not telling you to fill up the pages with nonsense or irrelevant things for the sake of filling up the pages, no. But if you take all the other advice that I've given you, doing this one shouldn't be hard at all. I mean, I used to actually be this kind of person that felt that, oh, you know, let me just go straight to the point, let me not delay about it, let me just tell them that this is this and that is that in my books. And yeah, I mean, there are some lecturers that prefer that method. So another important thing is to know the kind of lecturer that you have, what do you prefer. Nothing is wrong in actually asking them. I mean, we used to, I don't know if it's because we were in a private school, but with that lecturer, we'd be like, oh, would you prefer if we went straight to the point? Would you prefer if we, you know, wrote exhaustively about it. Some will answer, some would say, oh, it depends on the question or whatever. But some would actually say, yeah, like tell you their preference. So you have to know the kind of lecturer that you have. But I think majority just want to know that you actually understand what they asked you. They want to know if you understand what they have been teaching you about all this while. So I want to encourage you to write exhaustively in everything you're writing. Like write broadly about it. Except they ask you to list, obviously, then list. But if it's like write a note on, discuss, some will even tell you to write exhaustively, then write exhaustively. Even if it's a definition question, if it's an application question, write exhaustively. Write every single thing that you know, every single thing that you remember about that concept. Put examples, put the principles, put the whatever it is that they're asking, whatever the concept is. Yeah, whatever the concept is, whatever the question is about, even if it's calculation, I suppose, write in detail, every single thing. Every single thing you know about that concept, about that question, write it out. Show that you understand. Give examples and principles and whatever that you can when answering that question. And show the lecturer that, yeah, I actually know my stuff. And you're trying to get higher marks. So that's really all I have for you guys today. Comment any other kind of video that you want me to do, and I'll definitely do it for you. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video, and I hope that you start to have better grades. I just love that this video is coming right about now. I think a lot of people are resuming, are about to resume or soon resume. Start implementing these things from now. Against exam season, I think that'll be at the end of the year or in January and February, depends, I don't know. I'm just going off against typical private uni standards. But yeah, I really hope you learned something. I hope you have better grades, 4 points, 4.5, first class, 2-1. It's all for you by the grace of God. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Whatever the concept is, is that sound not going to stop? Ah. Ah. Oh, go. God, I'm busy. Depends. I don't know. I'm just going based off like typical. Now, wow. I'm just going off against typical. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Did this thing off? It went off. Oh.